Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I am Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love finding high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. As you guys already know, here we love talking about makeup. You'll find a lot of hauls, get ready with me's, but most importantly, I like to share my tips and tricks for how to find really expensive makeup at really affordable prices. Now, if that is something that you are interested in doing and you haven't yet done so, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join my little family over here. Okay, so y'all already saw from the thumbnail and the title that today I'm going to be doing a huge swatch party. And quick disclaimer, if you hear a little bit of rumbling in the background, it is not my stomach. I am not hungry. It is pouring like hell outside. There is so much thunder right now that I am 85% sure that some of it will end up in this video. So just know I'm not over here hungry trying to film this. Anyways, so like I said, we're going to be doing a swatch party and I'm going to be swatching my blue eyeshadows for you guys. And what actually sparked all of this was my new Nabla Cutie palette. This is the Midnight palette and I have a video unboxing this as well as another video where I did 2 looks using this palette. And I was just blown away by the blues, especially this one here. And after I was done swatching it, I was thinking, I know I have a number of other blue eyeshadows within my collection. So I wanted to pull them out and see how the blues within my collection compare. So let's just get swatching. So first things first, I'm going to dip into the palette that inspired this video and swatch for you guys the 2 blue shades. So I'm going to swatch Midnight and then I'm going to swatch Quiet Storm. So here we have Midnight and Quiet Storm. Look at how beautiful. Oh my gosh. So we have Midnight and Quiet Storm. So the shade that really struck me from this was this Midnight Blue shade, and I immediately started trying to figure out what palettes or what singles I have in my collection that remind me of Midnight. And my first thought went straight to Mama Pat. Now Mama Pat has a couple of blue shadows within her palettes, so I pulled out all of my Mama Pat palettes that had blue shadows in them, and I'm going to swatch them for you guys. Now, before I go into the palettes, though, I do want to swatch one single from her, and this was in her kit that came out recently. It's the Ultraviolet Blue Pressed Pigment, because I do think that this could be a very, very close, if not identical, swatch. Maybe not. It looks really, really blue in the pan, but when you shift it, it almost has like that blue purple look to it. So we'll see if it actually swatches blue. So this is that Ultra Blue Pressed Pigment. It's pretty, but you can see that it's very, very different from this one. It's definitely a blue purple, and it even has a little bit of a shift to it. Like I can see this shifting. So this is definitely, I would say, more of a duochrome because it shifts purple. So next I wanted to dig into my Mothership one. This is Sublime, and you guys already know I wanted to touch this. I believe it's called Blitz Blue. So I wanted to dig into Blitz Blue because this is another one that seems like it could be pretty spot on. In terms of color, y'all know that there is no one that can replicate Mama Pat's formula. So in terms of color, it seems pretty spot on. Oh, there we go. It's different. It's definitely different. So this is Blitz Blue. This is Midnight Blue from Nabla. You guys can see. Definitely a different blue, but stunning as all of Mama Pat's shadows are. And then I pulled out another Mothership, and this is Decadence. And I thought that I would go into these 2 shades here. I know this one is Lapis Luxury, and this one I believe is called Underworld. And you can already tell that they're 2 deeper blue shades, and they're not that high metallic formula that Nabla has, or obviously Mama Pat's special shades, but they're blue eyeshadow, so let's swatch them. So these are the 2 shades from Decadence. This one is Lapis Luxury, and this one is Underworld. So I'm gonna go in with Underworld first. Ooh, that's pretty. And this is Lapis Luxury. This is so beautiful. Now this definitely looks closer to this shade, but it's not exact. You guys can already see that. Still very high shine. And this is definitely a much richer blue, as you guys can already tell. I'm sorry for these janky swatches, y'all. I'm trying here. Really, really trying. And to finish off my swatches from the Mama Pat collection, I pulled out her quad. I pulled out two of her quads. I pulled out Nocturnal Nirvana, and then I pulled out the Celestial Divinity quad in Interstellar Icon. And this is the Interstellar Icon quad. So I'm gonna go into this blue here, which is one of my favorite blues. Like, I absolutely love wearing that blue. And then for the Interstellar Icon, I'm going to go into this blue here, which I believe is a duochrome, if I'm not mistaken. And this is her special formula, whereas the one in Interstellar Icon is not her special formula. So here we have the one from Nocturnal Nirvana, and this is the one from Interstellar Icon. And they actually look quite similar on the finger, if I'm being honest. But I know they're going to swatch very differently. So here we have, yes, Nocturnal Nirvana. And Interstellar Icon. This Nocturnal Nirvana one definitely looks a lot more green in this swatch. And the Interstellar Icon one is very, very high shine and has a little bit of a purple hint to it. I don't know if you guys can see that reflect. Okay, so here we have the two shades from Nabla Cosmetics and then all of the blue shades in my Mama Pat collection. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe Mama Pat off and then go into, actually, let's just keep going. So up next, this one, when I saw it, I completely forgot about it, to be quite honest, at first. And then when I was going through all of my palettes to find my blue eyeshadow, I ran across my Melt Blueprint stack. And I don't have any Melt eyeshadow palettes, and this is actually my only Melt product, if I'm not mistaken. And this stack is so beautifully pigmented. Now, it does come with two blue duos, so you actually end up with 4 blue shades. And you also get 2 neutral duos, so you end up with 4 neutral shades. But we're just gonna focus on the blue shades for this one. So I'm not gonna swatch the matte, but I'm gonna go in with this blue shimmer and then with the other 2 blue shimmers. So here we have all of the blue shades from the Melt Blueprint stack. So we have Skylight. Okay. Then we have Deadbolt and Kingston. So these are the Melt Blueprint stack shades. Now this King Stud looks a lot like the Nabla one. Am I crazy? Looks very close to me. Now the one from Nabla is definitely more high shine, a lot more metallic, and this one is definitely more satin, but very, very close. So next I pulled 2 palettes from Too Faced. I pulled the Gingerbread Extra Spicy as well as the Palm Springs palette. Now both of these have that one blue shade in them. They're both very warm palettes, and then you have this one pop of blue, which I find that a lot of neutral palettes have them. Like, you'll find all these neutral colors and then one random pop of blue. So again, here you can see both very warm neutral palettes, and then you have that single pop of blue. So let's swatch Midnight Snack from Extra Spicy, and then we are going to swatch Swank from Palm Springs. So here we have Midnight Snack and Swank. Midnight Snack, Swank. So this is definitely a lot deeper. It's almost black. And this one, it feels a little tealish. I don't know. Does it look like any of the others? No, this is a very, very unique shade now that I'm looking at it, because it doesn't seem to look like any of the other ones that I have here so far. Now, Too Faced is not exactly my favorite formula, but they have some gems out there. Okay, so next I wanted to dig into one of my indie palettes, and this is actually the Alien Cosmetics All I Ever Wanted palette. It's supposed to be all duochromes, but some of them I consider more like high metallic shadows. But you can see that there are these two beautiful blue shades that remind me, and probably remind you a lot of the two from Midnight Sun. So we're gonna dive into these two shades. So they are Neptune and Moon Boots. So here we have Neptune and Moon Boots. So that's Moon Boots and this is Neptune. You guys can already see the difference in the shine, and this is why people buy indie shadows. So next, we're just gonna start digging into some of the other palettes that I just pulled out of my collection. I completely forgot that I had this duo eyeshadow from Stila. It is their Sapphire Duo, and it has these two very, very beautiful shades that I wanna swatch for you guys. Now, both of these are they both metallic? I'm not even really sure. So one of them is a matte and one is metallic, but let's just swatch both for you guys. Beautiful. Now this metallic is definitely a lot more like PC than some of the others that I've swatched so far, but you guys can see how much pigment I got in that one swatch. And let's compare it to Nabla. Yeah, it looks real close, you guys, real close. Yeah, I think this is another one that's spot on. So we already have, which one? The one from Melt that seems to be pretty spot on, and now it seems like we have this one as well. Okay, so the rest of shades and the rest of palettes that I pulled out from my collection are not really close to the Nabla Midnight palette, but they do have blue eyeshadow in them, so I just wanted to play in them and swatch them anyway. Hey guys, editing me popping in here because I completely forgot to swatch my Club Nebula palette from Kaleidos against the Nabla Midnight Cutie palette. So up top here, we have the two blue shades from the Nabla Midnight palette, and these three shades are from the Kaleidos Club Nebula. And you can see that with the second light blue shade, they are very, very similar. I will say that the Nabla palette one does shift a little bit purple, but these are pretty close. So here are the swatches of the Kaleidos Club Nebula palette and the Nabla Cosmetics Midnight palette. And now back to the rest of swatches. So first I wanted to swatch the Viseart Bohemian Dream palette. And there are these two really beautiful blue shades here that I wanted to swatch for you guys. So these are the two shades from that Viseart palette. And I'm gonna go into the unnub part of my hand here. So that's the deeper shade. And this is the lighter shade. Very beautiful. But clearly, I mean, this is the one from Nabla. This is the one from Viseart. Not even remotely similar, but still beautiful in its own way. Next, I wanted to show you guys the blue shade from the e.l.f. and Kissa collab. Now this, I struggled with this palette when I first got it, so I am a little bit traumatized by it, but it does have this really beautiful blue shade here that I wanted to swatch. So here we have Bailey. Swatch that right here. So pretty. I don't know if you guys saw me swatch it, but this is the Rare Beauty Confident Energy palette in the shade Willpower, and the Natasha Denona Aries palette in the shade Ice Blue. I also wanted to pull out this oldie but goodie, the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This is a beautiful palette that they absolutely need to do more of. Like, this was everything. I don't know why we got this and then it was like nothing else, but let me go into these two shades here. It's definitely a little bit more grungy than Bright Blue, but let's see. So we have Radio and Big Sky. Radio, Big Sky. Oh yeah. And that's definitely a more satin formula. Okay, and the Urban Decay formula is definitely a more satin finish than some of these more metallic shiny shades, but still very beautiful. Okay, let's go into a surprising gem, and that is the KVD Vegan Beauty palette. This was when they kind of first rebranded, and it's their first like all recyclable palette. And there are these two shades here. This one is definitely a deep blue. It's almost black, and then there's this matte blue. So I'm going to swatch both for you guys. So this shade is called Abyss. And the matte is called Teleport. Okay, good pigment. It's definitely a deep blue, almost black shade, but not quite. Then I wanted to go into one of my absolute favorite palettes. Now, this is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. It's by Alter Ego. It's called the Artemis Palette. I plan on getting Metropolis, I will say that, but when it's on sale, not at that full $129 price tag. So in the meantime, I picked up the Artemis palette from Alter Ego, and it is such a beautiful formula. I know it's a dupe palette, so they're kind of copying Natasha Denona's color scheme, but I believe that it is essentially their formula, and I love how this performs. So I wanted to go into this shade specifically. It's called Victory, and I'm gonna put it right here. So this is Victory from Artemis. It's beautiful. Now, I don't know what this would be in the Natasha Denona Metropolis, but if you have Metropolis, you might want to pull it out and, you know, play with it. It's really pretty. Moving right along, I also pulled out my Dominique Cosmetics Celestial Storm palette because it has this really beautiful, I mean, I guess it's a teal, so not really a blue, but it's teal blue. Anyways, so it has this like teal shade here, which I absolutely love. So I wanted to swatch this one for you guys. And that's the shade Stargaze. So here we have Stargaze. Next, I have two palettes that are kind of similar in my mind because they're all shimmer palettes. And it's the Charlotte Tilbury, the Icon palette, and then the Makeup by Mario. I guess is this the Metallics? Yes, the Master Metallics palette. So these two look so similar in my mind. And I wanted to swatch this blue from the Charlotte Tilbury and also this blue from Makeup by Mario. So here we have Charlotte Tilbury Icon and Makeup by Mario Master Metallics. I'm swatch them right here. So Charlotte Tilbury, Makeup by Mario. Next, I also busted up my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette just for this shade right here. So beautiful. And that's actually the shade Mercury. So here we have Mercury from Huda Beauty's Mercury Retrograde. Why does that look identical to this one? These two look so similar. Huh. I also pulled out my little bite-sized eyeshadow palette from e.l.f. and this is called Acai You. Just so I can swatch this one shimmer shade here. Now I will say out of all the bite-sized palettes, this is probably my least favorite. I did not like it, so there's that. So here we have from the Acai You palette, and you guys can already see. You see how that swatched? So lackluster. Yeah. and it almost has like a gray tint to it. I don't like it. And I also have a single eyeshadow from ABH. I picked this up at TJ Maxx for like $3. So let's just swatch it and see, shall we? Oh, that's nice. That's actually really nice. And lastly, I had to pull out my good old fave, the Bobbi Brown in a Flash eyeshadow palette, because you all know it's a holy grail of mine. So I wanted to swatch for you guys Electric Blue and Steel Thunder. So here we have Electric Blue and Steel Thunder. These two together are everything. And you guys probably already know that the cosmetics company store is doing 6 for $60. So if you were interested in this palette, you could pick it up and basically get it for $10 with that deal. Okay guys, and that's it. This is all of the blue eyeshadow that I have in my collection. Again, these are the 2 shades from the Nabla Cutie palette that kind of sparked this swatch party. And you know what, I'm actually proud. I can say that after swatching my eyeshadows, I feel very confidently that the blue eyeshadows that I have are very different, or different enough, I should say, that I don't feel like I have too many duplicates within my collection. Seeing it all together, it might look a little bit crazy, but hear me out. They definitely are different. They have different undertones, they have different levels of shine and impact, different formulas. Some are more satin, some are more metallic, some are even duochromes. So I do think that they all have a very special place in my collection, and I'm glad to have them there. Now, if you saw one of these palettes or one of these shadows and you want me to do a look on it, please leave it down in the comments below. Let me know which one is your favorite blue, or which palette had your favorite blue, because I am curious. Or let me know from your own collection, what's your favorite blue eyeshadow palette or blue eyeshadow. Okay, and guys, if you liked this video, please make sure you like, please make sure you subscribe, please share, and make sure you come back for my next video, because I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.